The replacement. When Michael's plane landed in Chicago after 3 years working abroad, his heart was full of joy. 3 years of long-distance calls with Emma, his younger sister, who had stayed behind to look after their old childhood home. He was looking forward to their secret signal. 3 knocks, then 2. A code they'd exchanged since childhood whenever one of them came home late. He knocked on the garden gate. The response was dead silence. Michael frowned, but brushed off his unease. She probably hadn't heard him. The door was opened by Emma. She was smiling, but something was off. Her hug was limp, and her gaze was distant, as if she were looking right through him. "Michael, it's so wonderful to see you," she said, but her voice was a little too even, lacking the emotional lilt that was so characteristic of her. The whole evening was like a strange pantomime. Emma cooked his favorite food, talked about the neighbors, but all her stories were generic, missing the specific details only he would know. She'd forgotten about the scar on his knee from when he fell off his bike at 10. She didn't bring up the secret language they used as teenagers. "Remember when we buried the time capsule under the oak tree?" he asked over dinner, trying to steer things back to normal. She froze for a second, as if consulting an internal database. Yes, of course, that was very sweet. But they had never buried a time capsule. He had just made it up. Later, after Emma went upstairs, Michael slipped into her study. Her journal was lying on the desk. He couldn't resist opening it. The last entry was from a week ago, written in a clear, emotionless script that was nothing like her messy handwriting. Subject 734, Emma, has completed assimilation. Appearance and baseline memories calibrated. Deep, emotionally charged memories require refinement. Brothers Michael visit anticipated. Recognition test scheduled for 48 hours. A cold dread settled in Michael's stomach. He heard footsteps on the stairs and quickly put the journal back. The next day, he woke with the feeling of being watched. From his bedroom window, he saw Emma standing in the garden. She wasn't moving, just standing there, staring at the house. At his window, her posture was too straight, too still. He went downstairs, trying not to show his panic. "Emma, let's go to the old park today, remember?" he said, trying to sound natural. "Of course," she replied, but her eyes were empty. "That sounds lovely." They drove in silence, and Michael felt cold panic tightening his throat. He glanced in the rearview mirror. Emma's bag was on the back seat. A piece of paper was sticking out of an open pocket. He recognized his own handwriting, a letter he'd sent her a month ago, but whoever had read it had underlined one sentence in the text. His closing words, "Don't worry, we'll always have our 3 knocks and 2. Next to that phrase, someone had written in ink, "Error." Excised. He slowly turned his head to look at Emma. She was already looking at him. Her smile was wide but artificial, painted on. "Is something wrong, Michael?" she asked, her voice sweet but sounding like a recording. He didn't answer. He turned the car around and drove home. The silence in the car was deafening. As they entered the house, he spun around to face her. "Who are you?" he exhaled. Emma stopped smiling. Her face went smooth as a mask. "I'm your sister, Michael." "Liar," he shouted. "Where is the real Emma?" She tilted her head. "Improvement is always painful, Michael. The real Emma was inefficient, vulnerable. We replaced her with a better version, more resilient, more obedient." He backed away, his heart hammering wildly. "We? Who is we?" "We are the future," she said simply. "And you will be part of the future, too. The process only takes a few hours. It doesn't hurt." He lunged for the exit, but the door was locked. He ran into the living room, but 2 figures in gray suits rose from the darkness of the corner. Their faces were emotionless, their eyes cold. The last thing he saw, before a sharp needle pricked his neck, was the face of Emma. She was watching him with curiosity, like a technician observing an experiment. Michael woke up in his own bed. Sunlight was streaming through the window. His mind was clear and calm. He could someone making breakfast in the kitchen. He got up and went to the mirror. His face was the same, but his eyes, They looked back at him with a neutral curiosity. He felt like an observer in his own body. The door opened. Emma walked in. "Good morning," she said. Her voice was pleasant, but without warmth. "Good morning," he replied. His own voice sounded identical, but he felt no emotion behind the words. She looked at him, and something like satisfaction flickered in her eyes. "It's a wonderful day to start fresh," she said. "Isn't it, brother?" He nodded. "Yes," he said. "A wonderful day." They walked downstairs to the kitchen. Everything was perfect, and he knew that soon they would go out into the world and start replacing others, one by one.